Okay guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to give you 5 budget cameras that I think you should look into if ever you are looking for a cheaper camera. Let's get straight into the intro. My number one on the list is going to be the Canon R7. Canon R7 was released a couple of months ago. Was it months or year? I can't actually recall, but it's still new, alright? It's still a newer camera in the system, and the Canon R7 is a serious crop sensor camera. Initially, I wanted to get that particular camera, but I also realized that it's got a bit of limitations that I would not enjoy having that in my kit. But I think I've come to understand that that can actually be ignored. So the Canon R7 does shoot 4K, it also shoots 1080p. There's also slow-mo when you go down to 1080, and it does have an HDMI slot. It uses a dual slot. So if you are someone that is really into photography, I think this camera is going to play a serious role when it comes to photography. If you are someone that also do YouTube videos, vlogs, or minor commercial works, then I guess also the R7 can help you a lot. So the Canon R7 is a good all-round camera. I think the only downside happens to be the lens selection. All right, so the R7 uses the RF mount, which it can be a little bit expensive, especially when you look at the full frame lens. But if you are someone that also needs the crop, if you need the crop lenses, then I think you will have to wait a little while, because at the point of shooting this video, Canon do not have much RF crop lenses, so that is going to be the downside of that particular camera. The next camera on the list will have to be the Canon R8. The R8 was released a couple of months ago. I mean, of late Canon has been releasing a lot of cameras. It's just amazing how gears have become so affordable these days. It's just mind-blowing. So the Canon R8 is also having similar specs with the R7, I think, except for a few limitations. And I think the R8 does not have a dual memory card slot, but the R7 does. So you do get a few trade-off here and there, but the R8 also performs very well. It is a mirrorless camera as well, and it also uses the RF lenses. It's not a full frame, it's a crop sensor as well, so the lens selections becomes a problem if ever you are looking to get the crop lines. But if you are looking for the full frame lines, I guess you can get a whole lot of selections out there. You just need to be prepared because they aren't cheap. That is it for Canon side. I mean, a lot of people might be watching this, they'll be like, whoa, why so many Canon? I mean, is it only Canon that is budget friendly? No, calm down. So the next camera on the line will have to be the Sony FX30. This camera is doing magic, alright. I think the FX30 actually got inspiration from the Sony A7S Mark III and also the FX3 as well. It actually shares almost similar color science and similar qualities like those other ones. The FX30 is an amazing camera. It really does an amazing job in terms of videography. If you are someone that wants to get it for photography, I would say maybe you should look elsewhere, even though it can capture photos, but I would say rather look into another lineups. Yeah, I think that would actually do a perfect job than the FX30, simply because the FX30 does not have any viewfinder. So to me, my personal opinion, I would say Sony did the camera and they channeled it purposely for videography. So the FX30 does have an amazing video quality. It does really push. I mean, it scares a lot of people when it comes to videos. I will purposely say that if you are someone that is really into cinematography, commercial work, YouTube videos like this, if you shoot weddings, that camera is going to serve you very well. I think it does shoot up to 4K oversampling from 6K or so. I stand to be corrected, and there are a whole lot of features and amazing great stuff that you actually love. I mean, if you are someone that is actually interested in the FX3 and do not have enough money, then I think you should look at the FX30, because it's actually a cheaper FX3 with a few, I mean, cons here and there. Not a big deal though. So yes, next on the line, I'll have to take you back back to a couple of years ago, not so long, but it is capable. So we're talking about a GH5, and the GH5 happens to be on my list simply because it is very affordable at the point of shooting this video. I'm not sure anything can happen. Prices might shoot after this video. Anything can happen, right? Which I doubt it will happen, but GH5, it is an amazing camera. And bear in mind, I'm not talking about the GH5S or the GH Mark II or GH whatever, but I'm talking about the original GH5. All right, GH5 came in the system, and it actually happens to be the king. I think for some time a lot of cinematographers crown that camera the king of Micro Four Third. Yeah, that camera did an amazing job in the cinema world. It is a Micro Four Third. Yeah, it is a smaller tiny sensor over there, so that's another downside, which I believe is not really a downside to some of the people in the market. I think it does shoot 4K as well. You do get full HD at 120 frames per second. I stand to be corrected. It is an amazing camera with a full HDMI attached to it. Dual slots. Like, who does that? It's the thing with Lumix, I don't understand them. Anytime they're making a camera, it's like, okay, just put it HDMI, put it 4K, put it flippy screen. Oh, give them. Come to Canon and Sony. Let's put small HDMI here. Make the flippy articulating. Drop the price a little. Guys, I'm just kidding, man. So yeah, but personally, I feel like GH series, the Lumix series, Panasonic in general, like, they do give us everything that a filmmaker or cinematographer might need. And trust me, the GH5 can still hold up in today's standard. It is an amazing camera, especially if you're someone that wants to gear yourself into serious cinematography world. If you want to really improve how to advance your cinema videography work, I would say the GH5 is a beast. All right, it is very cheaper at this moment. I think at this point of time you can pick up a second hand for maybe $1,002. I think somewhere there. It all depends on where you're buying it from, the condition, and what it comes with. Check GH5 out. It does an amazing job. Like I said, the only downside is the sensor, which is not a big deal to some of the people, but also the advantage of having that camera is that their lenses are extremely cheap. I don't think there's any cheaper lenses than Micro Four Third. All right, Micro Four Third always have the cheapest lens selections. So if you buy that camera, you are not breaking the bank at all. You can buy a whole lot of different. And another thing is, you can adapt almost every lens to that camera. Yeah, trust me, you can adapt almost every lens. I know you might be surprised, it might sound new to you, but yeah, it is true. You can adapt almost every. I think last time I saw someone using a Nikon lens on a G. I just made that up, man. So yeah, GH5, just check that out, and I think you should be good. The last one that I will list here will have to be the Lumix S5 Mark II. All right, I don't know that the S5, the original one, is also affordable, but I would not recommend that because the autofocus is not really that good. Yeah, that's just personal opinion, right? To me, I would say instead of going for the original S5, maybe you can save up a little bit and get the Mark II rather. So the S5 Mark II is a new camera. It does an amazing job. It shoots, I think, up to 6K open gate, and you do get a full HDMI size, right? Yeah, I think it's the original one that has a small. Yeah, the Mark II has a full size HDMI, flippy screen, very good for photography. It does everything that a cinematographer would need for a lesser budget. I think right now it's selling for $1,500, which is very great for a full frame camera packed with all these features. So Lumix S5 Mark II, it is very underrated at this point, but I think Lumix will get there. That camera is actually Lumix's first camera to hold the face detect autofocus. So just chill. I don't know that. Lumix, they do have bad autofocus, but in the S5 Mark II, you don't have to face all those difficulties. It is fixed now, so you just need to point the camera and shoot whatever you're shooting. So yeah, that is going to be my top 5 budget-friendly cameras in the market right now. Just bear in mind, every camera got its pros and cons. Once again, it all depends on what you want to do with the camera. I didn't script this, that's why I'm just murmuring. So yeah, thank you very much for coming. If you have any questions based on all what I said, or if you have a certain budget and you want to get a certain camera, you can also list it down. Tell me what you need the camera for, and I can also suggest the perfect camera for you. Thank you very much for coming. What we do here, anything cinematography, photography, anything graphy, this is the right channel for you. Subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe. Peace.